Again, so far so good. I think we got a do-caster. This one's no tricaster. Seems to be working pretty good, huh?
So far, so good, although the pattern has been mid-show, when we're asking for too many effects, it crashes. So let's see. Hey, why don't we just throw everything at it and see what happens? Let's do back-to-back videos.
The show will be like Fabio's
intros.
face, and the graphics will be our geese.
Yeah.
Just keep fucking pelting. But it seems to me like this thing is working. Oh, there you go. Look at that.
Is that new? Does it come with the new TriCaster?
Nah, that's old.
Oh, that's old.
It's my favorite one, though. Rock and roll.
I do like to imagine that there's new stuff that comes with this new TriCaster. You know, like when you were younger and you'd get a new toy or like an updated version of whatever game, there's new features. It would be so cool if we had new features like, I don't know, you could like spin us, or you could, I don't know what TriCasters
like
do.
Sex.
We could cast to space. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure we have that ET.
Yeah, wow!
Whoa!
Oh no, I'm on a roller coaster!
I'll sit in the sidelines and hold your wallet.
Watch out for geese! Woo! Woo!
You have a lot of hairspray in. It is not going up at all. Look. Nice. Oh, I already like this TriCaster. All sorts of fun things. Oh, wow. I'm getting seasick just watching.
Oh, that's fun.
Well, speaking of fun, well, actually, I don't know if we have it on the ready. Come on in. Come on in. Let's get him in here early and spin him around as rotten as that new fact. Ladies and gentlemen, our very own Richie Redding is back. And by the way, considering we've got his producer here, oh, look at that. That's awesome. Considering we've got his producer here, I'll let him do the intro as far as his podcast is concerned. Bobby, take it away with your awesome new haircut.
Hey, it's Richie Redding from Really Real with Richie Redding, the #1 podcast talking about news that other people aren't talking about.
My dad, forever, since I was a kid, is famous for having a phone right next to the toilet. And if you,
I love your dad already.
So back in the day,
Steve, make notes of this for the dump.
So before cell phones, if you ever called him and he picked up right away, it's like, what are you doing?
Oh yeah, if he was having, because
the phone's right
there. Nowadays,
there.
people are playing their little games, texting to friends, what have you. But back then, phones were kind of the only game in town. If you haven't refurbished the magazines next to the toilet, that was really, if you're there for a long haul, you want to talk to someone.
This is a good
rotary phone, dude.
He's my hero.
This is a good discussion or debate, and there's in my mind, two types of people, and it all deals with how you grew up. Phones in the like, do you take your cell phone into the bathroom with you? You're at home.
Wait, you don't? Are you implying that you don't?
I do not. The bathroom is a dirty place. I don't bring my phone in there.
But your butt cheeks are on the dirty place.
Wait.
Yeah, but like, where am I going to put my phone when I need to do a wipey wipe, sitting it on the tub, but then I need to pick up my phone. Now I need to wash my hands.
What's it with women in pockets?
Where am I going to put
Why do women not have pockets?
No, or we do, but the phone will fall out. I'm not about to put it in a pocket.
What do you do in there?
I do have pockets the size of a dime.
I am in and out. I
true.
do not need to sit and push. If I need to sit and push, it's not ready. Okay?
Not fully baked.
I am in and
Wait
out.
until turtle touches cotton.
That does explain why you know where all the public toilets are in New York.
Wait a darn minute, though.
That's why I kept my Planet Fitness Black Card membership, so I can use any Planet Fitness.
More like the brown card, am I right, guys?
Hey, I think you are in a severe minority here.
I'm the same way.
I don't know, but I'm also
never needed reading material. I'm in and I'm out.
I'm speaking to a bunch of men, and I think that men especially are the ones who bring their phones in because y'all don't sit down every time. If you are going into the bathroom to sit, you're like, aha.
That's true.
I am going for an event. And so you bring in your phone as the event happens. But women, we're so used to sitting down. Oh, my God, I got to go in and sit down again. But this time for a number 2, let me get in, get out. Yeah. Maybe it is a female-male thing.
Of an eater, but I've always been real quick. Knock on wood, people.
I feel like you're not.
Oh, I very much am. That was always great for like back when
you can't have 12 drinks a day and also be a healthy eater.
I
have an opinion on the.
Flushes it out. I think the Guinness flushes it out. I really do. It was always great back in the day when I actually used to date, long time ago. And now I'm jinxing myself were I to ever go on one again. But I would never, there would be this certain kind of guy that would worry to have a really long shit in a first date. Because the girl knows what he's doing. Everyone knows what he's doing. And it's just not the best mood to set on a first one. I never had to worry about that. She would never have been the wiser whether it was a peeps or a poops. I'd be in and out like that. Mostly because I don't wipe. But
Listeners,
I hate the fact that she believes that. But
let us know, listeners. What are you thinking?
Joe, I know you're anti-phone, but what
Yeah.
do you think about 2 phones?
Oh my God.
Look at that. That is.
Is that Steve?
Well, one of those is for old people in case they fall. That's one of those type of phones.
Oh my God, are you George Costanza who has to take off his shirt to go to the bathroom?
No, this is when I was in Italy, so I was mostly naked in the hotel room.
Gotcha.
I just thought, it was nice that I could make a phone call and take a picture of myself. So you kind of need 2 phones in the bathroom.
Was there a bidet there?
Of course.
Yeah.
You had to, but I didn't like the bidets in there because you had to get up off the toilet, go to the
Yeah.
bidet, and then the angle still confuses me.
Yeah.
I don't know how you were supposed to stand or sit.
Yeah, some people go front in as opposed to rear in.
Reverse cowgirl.
So that, yes. So the water, because if you turn it high enough, it does like a water fountain sort of arc, and then it will get to the beehole.
I'll be honest, I was too intimidated. I walked up to the bidet and it was like a fire hose, but it was like you said, it was very looping. And
Yeah.
I'm like, where do I put my ass?
Yeah.
How does this? It looked like it was just gonna hit me in the back.
Yeah.
Like,
I
it
got
was too high.
Lisa the Toto washlet for her birthday. She was expecting a ring. I got her a ring around her ass instead. But
Honestly,
She got a very clean ring, yes.
a bidet, I have a attachable bidet on my toilet. It has changed my life.
Yeah, she's
No.
pretty pro.
yeah,
No.
this guy's heated seat. It's got the fan blow.
Oh.
Oh yeah, you can blow
Okay,
dry.
that's what I need to ask
Adjustable
for.
pressure. It's got 6 different pressures
Okay,
and
sure.
3 different positions.
Positions,
And it can
see-
also get J if you want it, but who's doing that?
Well,
It could
Like-
get Jay.
JJ. It'll get the JJ. You
listen,
can spray the front.
you just gotta position yourself.
But also, the best part about the whole thing, I think, is that when it first comes out, it starts spraying like when you first sit down, and it's just a little bit of a mist. And my theory behind it is that it's like in Olympic diving when they have the bubbles to break the surface tension.
Yes.
Because there's no splashback, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's a 10 every time.
Okay, I
like a
would-
Chinese diver.
Even if it was my own home, and I knew if the bathroom had been used an hour ago or a day ago, I don't think I'd be a fan of the warm seat. It reminds me as if I knew someone had just used the toilet. If
That
it's
is-
like a public toilet, it's
Yeah.
really warm. Oh, God.
I agree.
Charlotte-
ass cheeks were just here.
When you know it's yours,
sense.
no, when you know it's yours, it's great. But Charlotte Airport at like 9:30, if you have to land there, there's a line of dudes like 50 deep, and that seat's just 98.6 degrees every time.
Yeah, I hate
fucking
O'Hare
slob.
is not a great place at all, but they got the plastic button
Yeah,
things
yeah,
that
yeah.
go around. I don't know why every toilet doesn't have them now. They cannot be that expensive if O'Hare's got them, people.
Where does the plastic go when it goes to the
Mystery.
back?
Nobody
Is
knows.
it the same plastic that's sanitized?
I mean,
It has to get ejected.
Yeah, something happens.
I don't know.
Remember the worst thing from bathrooms in the 80s was the perpetual towel.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
It was a cloth towel.
How was that ever acceptable?
That somehow magically cleansed itself when it went through.
Yeah,
Have you been to, what is it, the Green Line? The jazz bar that was Al Capone's favorite hideout spot or hangout
We had a
spot?
lot that were in vacation areas in Wisconsin that are still alive.
Well,
but
they-
there were very few in Chicago.
Yeah, it's a jazz bar. It's the longest running. It's the bar that's been open continuously for the longest in America because it ran.
That's a tricky statement.
Yeah, it's because it ran straight through Prohibition and through World War II.
Right, but a lot of places in New York claim the very same thing. Whether it's Shorley's claims
they
it.
claim it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's really cool because there's the jazz stage, and then he didn't have what you would think of as the best table in the house. What he had was he had a place where it was kind of like off to the left of the stage, but there's mirrors like this, so he could see every entrance to the place.
Great.
In the mirrors.
Love it.
Constantly watch the place, and he also was as close to a door that only opened from the inside.
Nice.
So that if the cops ever came in, he could just, or whoever came in, he could bolt right away.
I love it. Old Town Bar is still got the little secret shelves underneath their booths that pull out, and you throw all your booze in there if it gets raided. And then the 21 Club, which as of right now is supposedly not reopening, period. And that should be a historical landmark, people. But they've got the whole deal where they've still got the lines at the bar where you pull them and all of a sudden it goes and all the bottles go into the basement and then it goes back up again in case the cops are raiding
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, it's amazing. And then they have downstairs where the mayor used to drink, and it's supposed to be like just a basement area, and then you push this fake wall. All of this is still there, and it's like the private area for the mayor and all the celebrities of the time. And that's all still there.
Fun.
It's so cool. And like
Drinking when you're
Nixon still got his own wine bottle there. All these old celebrities. It's just crazy. And it's gone.
But it's like that's the only way that they could make drinking as fun as it is for high school kids is to make it illegal for adults.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
Yes. More people were drinking during Prohibition than before. It was the first time women really felt comfortable socializing and drinking unless they were a hooah, because all the bars were just all dudes. But back then it didn't matter because it was Prohibition. People were just trying to get booze any way they could. And it gave birth to modern socializing because women actually started going to, at the time, speakeasies.
Yeah.
And it became acceptable.
My dad's a retired builder, but he looked at a place one time in Pleasantville. He's like, you got to check this place out with me. Like when he would tell me to go see something, it was usually cool. It was in Pleasantville, which is across the bay from Atlantic City, and it's now an absolute shithole. It's 3.5% sales tax, if you know what I mean.
Oh boy, yeah.
You got a 3.5% chance of getting it back to your car. But it was this big ass house, which ultimate red flag. There was like it was a 80-year-old house at least. The red flag being that there was a brand new Mercedes that was covered up like right outside of the house. Like, but it had a huge indoor pool, like a grotto type thing. And
this is a total rum runner.
Yeah, and it had like big glass windows. You could see across the bay to Atlantic City. But then upstairs, there was a similar thing. There was the bar that was obviously a bar, and the bathroom had the vanity to the bathroom had a false door. It was like a swing door.
Fucking great.
And there was a rail on it even, right? And it was like a padded. The ledge was padded, and there's a rail. And it was a fucking slide that went down to the basement. So if they
amazing,
so if they,
I thought it was a slide into the pool. That would be cooler.
Yeah, but there was a slide for the pool. But yeah, so if they raided, everybody would jump down there, and there was like a lock that the bartender or whatever was the last one through could boop put a little.
I love it,
Wow.
love it. To this day, they still find hidden hooch. And, Prohibition-era wads of cash in some of these old homes where it was hidden, and
That's
the
awesome.
elder died off, and it got lost to the history of the family. And, great.
Yeah,
Love it.
and those women, they could be out socializing.
Yeah. Was never the same after that. And then up until, 1972 or stuff, there'd still be all-male bars in New York. And I always thought, there's a certain type of dude that appreciates that. But for the most part, I'm like, who would want to go to a bar where it's just a bunch of dudes? Bunch of dudes hanging out. Nothing to look at.
I can think of a certain type of fella.
There is a certain element that would certainly love that. But, I never understood that before Prohibition.
It's not a one-to-one relation, but it was the greatest moral panic of all time in London was the Monster of London. Have you ever heard that story?
No.
Huh.
I had to read a book about it for a college class. That it was the predecessor. It was like 20 years before the Jack the Ripper, and women were somebody was going around and stabbing women in the ass, and just on the butt cheeks, just poking him with something. And it, like, one woman came forward, and then it turns into dozens and dozens of women coming forward and saying that they too had been violated by what they go on to call the monster, right? The monster of London.
And it was a knife.
It was like a pin prick that they're hitting him with, right? And these women are bleeding, and their husbands are in uproars, and there's search parties, and it turns into there's a fucking curfew in certain neighborhoods where the monster is striking, and there's men going around with clubs looking for the monster. A bunch of fucking just unseemly characters got clubbed because they were suspected of it, and then finally they get a guy who's the monster, and there's this big trial. It was London's first big public fucking spectacle of a trial. And they wanted to hang this fucking guy, right? He spent a whole bunch of time in the Bailey, all this shit.
And no one died, right? They just got
just stabbed in the ass. But yeah, it was stealing the chasteness of women, right?
Yeah.
So they're gonna hang this fucking guy, and lucky for him, somebody else gets stabbed in the ass while he's in the middle of his trial. And
could have been a copycat monster.
And it turned out that and they actually caught the person that did it. It was a kid, and it was pickpockets that were going around because women used to carry a change purse tied onto their dress, and what they were actually trying to do was just cut that rope and grab the money.
Hilarious.
But so they were actually just stabbing him in the ass because they were clumsy, whether they turned or whatever, and nobody ever put that together.
Wow.
But it was this wild moral panic
Scotland Yard was not so great.
They
couldn't come up with that.
The name of the guy is pretty famous. I forget what it is, but yeah.
I mean, this is why the Jack the
Are
Ripper
we
never got
hanging
caught.
all of the children? I hope so.
Yeah, thank you. That's the only way to solve this.
Yeah, it was like little dirt grubs, little Oliver Twist.
Yeah.
This is.
Yeah, oh my, come on, that's not that hard.
Consider yourself